What if this happens? And prepare for all eventualities. Hey everybody, this is Michael with Asymmetrical Preparedness. What I'm thinking about today is what happens if you are a decent distance from home, say 50, 100 miles or so, maybe a couple 100 miles, and society totally breaks down. Roads are impassable, people are, vehicles clogging the roads. Say you're in a vehicle, say you were traveling to go pick up something. I don't know if you heard that, kids screaming in the background. Yep, the joy of having a 5-year-old. And you don't have the ability to just drive home. You lose that ability. Something changes. The threat level increases. The roads are clogged. Are you ready? Are you prepared to be able to get home? What do you have in your vehicle to get home with? There's a lot to think about. Obviously, there's food, there's water, there are defensive tools in case it becomes that kind of situation. But it is also, I want you guys to think about this. This is important. But first, before I talk about that, if you guys could please support the channel by subscribing, hitting that notification bell for all, hitting that thumbs up, commenting below, sharing the videos, doing those things. And then there's that little heart with a thanks. Hey, if you feel like donating to the channel, that'd be greatly appreciated. That'd be awesome. And check out Patreon. Links in the description below. Tons of exclusive content. It's $1 a month. I mean, well worth it. We're doing good things over there. A lot of good things. I'm really upping my game over there. But anyway, I want you to think about this. This is very important. How you dress in your day-to-day life. Say you're going to a business meeting or something, say a wedding maybe even, and you suit and tie, flats, slacks, stuff like that. Well, if you're dressed like that, do you have a set of clothes that are more usable in that situation? Do you have proper footwear? Proper footwear is very important. I'll show you what I'm wearing right now. These are Vask boots. They're like hiking shoes. I don't know what you technically call them, but that's pretty much my norm. I'll mention really quick a couple of my favorites, I guess. Vask is a really good brand. I really like Solomon. I really like Oboz, and I really like Merrell. Those are my top 4 go-to footwear brands. And I'm not endorsed by any of them, not getting any money, nothing from them, anything like that. Those are just my favorites. They make really good shoes, and it's so important to have quality footwear. And to go along with that, quality socks, especially in the wintertime. But not necessarily to forget the importance of socks in the summertime also. Proper socks. You don't want thick wool socks in your vehicle from wintertime, and now it's summer, and now you got to walk 50 miles or 100 miles. No bueno, right? You got to take care of your feet. You want stuff that breathes well, stuff like that. But anyway, that's a totally different talk. I'm not really going to go into that in detail. How you dress in your day-to-day life. As you can tell, and you can see in all my videos, earth tones. I like earth tones. I have some like maroon stuff, like deep red, but I don't really like, and like sunburnt orange, maybe like a deep orange. But I don't like black. I do have some black stuff. I have a black hoodie, a black shirt. You can see me wearing sometimes like a thermal. But the thermal, that's mainly to be worn underneath stuff. It doesn't matter what color your base layers are if you're wearing them as a base layer with other stuff over them, obviously. But earth tones, simple earth tones that are also enable you to be gray. As you can see how I'm dressed right now, fairly gray. I mean, I may appear more military type, tactical, because of the style pants I'm wearing and the fact that I am who I am. I got the beard going on, I'm physically fit, stuff like that. So I may give off the appearance of, military. I can't help that. I was in the military for 20 years. So, but being gray is important. That'll help you avoid a lot of situations that could go really bad in a scenario like this. But not only that, hopefully you have your go bag, your get home bag, your bug out bag, whatever you want to call it, in your vehicle. In a vehicle, it's called basically a get home bag because that's what it's doing. It's enabling you to get home. So how much food should you have in your bag, in your vehicle, whatever? You got to have a means to transport it though, obviously. So a bag is very useful, obviously, right? I like backpacks just because it goes over the back, you know, get the one of the strap across the front so it doesn't, the shoulder straps don't slide off, they don't move around a lot, and it gives you hands-free. So you can do something with your hands. And thinking about hands-free, one thing you want to have is you want to have a light, right? Because it may take you days to get home. Well, headlamps are really good for that because it's hands-free. You're able to do all the stuff. So a headlamp is really good. Let me pause for just a sec and ask Little Bit AP has a question right here, or a request. What, baby girl?
Is it fun when you're done doing a video, fix my bike so I can ride it without training wheels?
Of course I will. All right, let me do my video.
All right.
She was riding her bike yesterday. She can ride without training wheels. It's just establishing that she needs to know that she can. But anyway, yeah, her chain fell off her bike. I got to pop it back on. It happens. Yes, hands-free is important because you want to be able to, you don't want to be carrying a bunch of stuff because then you can't do anything. You got to set it all down, pick it all back up, stuff like that. So, food, how much food? Well, I'd say in your get-home bag, I would recommend having at least 2 or 3 days. 3 days is pretty decent. But you also got to think about the caloric expenditure during those 3 days. That 2,000 calories, yeah, that may be good. Maybe if it's survival food, you know, the 3-day food supply is like 1,200 calories, 1,400 calories. Yeah, it'll keep you alive. But will it keep you, give you the energy that you need to be moving quickly, encumbered, meaning carrying a bunch of stuff, over rough terrain potentially for 3 days straight? That's not optimal, right? So you're looking like 3,000 calories plus. I'd get bare minimum 3,000 calories per day. If you can go 4,000, great. Because if you got a little extra, you don't need it all, great. Gives you more days of food. Water. You're not going to be able to carry 3 days of water because that's like 3 gallons bare minimum, right? Especially if you're moving hard and you're moving hard, especially if it's summertime and it's hot out. You need to stay properly hydrated. So this is why it's so important, no matter where you are, that you keep in mind all the time, situational awareness. Wherever you are versus where your home is, what sources of water are along that route via multiple routes, because you may not be able to get home via that easy route or that primary route. You may have to take an alternate route. You may have to go twice the distance all the way around. So that's another thing you got to think about. You got to prepare for eventualities. Murphy's Law. What can go wrong will go wrong. You can't prepare for all of it though, of course. But set yourself up for the best chance of success. That's important. So food, water, and like I said, water sources, maps, right? Maps, so you can remember where those water sources are. You're like, okay, but I got a cell phone. I can look it up. Well, what if there's an EMP? What if the grid is down and the cell towers are down? Whatever the situation may be, right? Paper maps, very important, with water sources identified on them. People are like, oh, well, what happens if those maps fall into the wrong hands? Who cares? It's just sources of water, seriously, and your route's home. Now, it may identify where your home is, but you just don't do that. You don't identify the final location. Get yourself within, a couple miles, 5-10 miles of your house. Then you should be able to, you should know from that point how to get home without having it written on a map. Come on, people. We got to be smart about this. But what about being able to defend yourself en route? Defensive tools like finger thing, that are important. You may not choose to have that kind, but there are other kinds out there. There are, single hand portable ones, and there are different versions of the longer ones. That's important to have something to protect yourself with in case it turns dangerous and or it's a violent situation. Having a good fixed blade knife important. I'm not really going to go over all the contents of your get-home bag, but you should have certain things. You should have cordage, like 550 cord, the parachute cord, the 7-strand, 5-strand, whatever cord, because you can take those strands out and use them for different things. Also, a tarp would be a really good thing to have, depending on the time of year. And this is where you need to remember that when seasons change, take a look at your bug out bag, take a look at your patrol pack, take a look at your vehicle, your get-home bags, and reassess them. Set them up for the season so they're season appropriate. You may not need a sleeping bag in August, right? But maybe you want mosquitoes though. Maybe you got to keep mosquitoes off you. So maybe a good mosquito net, just some warm clothes, a light blanket, something like that to keep yourself a little bit warm. But the tarp is important because that'll keep weather off of you, the sun off of you if you're sleeping it during the daytime and moving at night, whatever that may be. So a tarp is important. Is your ability to create fire important? In the wintertime, maybe, to keep yourself warm. But it should not be a necessity for your food. Your food should be rations. Rations are food that can be eaten without preparation. That's important. You don't want to have to make a fire because that signature will tell people where you are. The light, the smoke, and the smell. Those will give away your location. You may be in a situation where you can't have that. It's a dangerous situation. You don't want to do that. So the ability to create fire isn't necessarily mandatory, but why not throw in a Bic lighter? Why not? Because how much does it weigh? How much does it cost? Almost nothing. Spare socks, very important. Foot powder, very important. Anybody that's been boots on the ground for a long period of time or backpacking or hiking and stuff like that, you guys know that. Foot powder, you got to take care of those feet. Moleskin. Duct tape will work. Yeah. Just to cover up those hot spots and protect your feet. You got to protect your feet. You have to protect your feet. So speaking of footwear here for a sec, talking about protecting the feet and footwear. Do you need Gore-Tex footwear or waterproof footwear? Well, it depends. Depends on your situation and the season. If you're in wintertime, maybe that would be a better option. If you're in the summertime though, what I really like, my favorite shoes, summer shoes, are the Salomon Speedcross 5s, I think, are awesome. No Gore-Tex. They are really, really lightweight, really comfortable, really grippy. They're awesome tactical training shoes. They're awesome trail running shoes because that's what they are. But the whole concept behind that is they're really lightweight, not waterproof at all. Your feet get wet, but then they drain really quickly and they dry out really quickly. That may be a much better option, and they're cooler on your feet in warmer weather. Or if you're, say, in Florida, where it never really gets cold, and you're going to get wet. Gore-Tex, the water's going to get in eventually anyway. So it may be a better option to have something that dries quickly, drains well, stuff like that. So anyway, these are just some things to think about when you're out and about. Identify, always have in your mind, one of the most powerful tools in preparedness, right? That he is the most powerful tool in preparedness. But this is your personal most powerful tool in preparedness, is your brain, your mind. Think about these things. Prepare yourself. Set yourselves up for success. Know your routes. Know where you are, how you're going to get home via at least 3 routes. Identify water sources. Identify food sources. Identify threat sources. Is there a city between, a big city between there and there? Is there rugged mountains? It's all on what your situation is and where you are. These are all things to think about and to plan for. To set up your kit, your get-home bag, all this stuff for your specific situation. And make sure you're keeping up on the seasonal changes. You may not need that -30 sleeping bag in August. So don't carry the weight. Ounces equal pounds, pounds equal pain. That's another boots on the ground type thing. People, infantrymen, anybody that's carried a pack for a long period of time know the value. Long-range backpackers definitely know. Mountaineers, mountaineering, alpine people know the value of a lighter weight setup. So anyway, I love you guys very much. Spread the word about preparedness. Work on your tribe. Work on your fitness. eat healthy, get ready, people. I love you guys. A wonderful day, and blessings to you and yours.